Evil Pixel.
Now, many people may already know that there aren't very many decent Superman video games out there. And I'm not just talking about recently, I mean just in general, dating back to the Atari days even. Now, Superman just never got any good games. Some may argue that the death and return of Superman for the Super Nintendo is an exception, but it has its flaws. Now, that's not to say that it isn't at least playable. And oddly enough, that game was developed by Sunsoft, and it just so happens that Sunsoft is also developing another Super Nintendo Superman game that was announced but slowly got swept under the rug. And so in today's video, we'll be discussing the Untitled, Unreleased Superman game for the Super Nintendo. Now, to begin, it's safe to say that Sunsoft and Superman license have had differences in the past. This actually isn't the first time Sunsoft never released a Superman game, but that's for a whole nother video. Just know that the relationship between Sunsoft and Superman has been a rocky one. Now, it's important to note that this game never got an actual title, so you'll oftentimes see me and other medias refer to this game as the Untitled Superman game. More on that a little later. Now, this Untitled Superman game was to be released sometime in 1992 initially. Interestingly enough, there was another Superman game developed by Sunsoft that was released in 1992. However, it seems to be unrelated to the one we're talking about in this video, and it was also released for the Sega Genesis. For those unaware of CES, CES stands for the Consumer Electronics Show and is actually still going on to this day. CES is primarily used for technology-based companies to show off new products and breakthroughs in the technological industry. While nowadays the video game industry rarely contributes to the CES conventions, back in the 90s, CES was a huge gaming event where developers would show off new technology and upcoming games. Nintendo usually saw CES as an opportunity to show off its upcoming games. Now, why CES is important in regards to this is because this unreleased Superman game was said to be showed off at CES convention. This is known as it was quickly mentioned in Nintendo Power's August 1992 coverage of the summer CES convention. On page 59, it stated, "Revenge of the Joker will be coming out for both the NES and the SNES, while the most famous of all Cape Crusaders, Superman, should land in a store near you by the end of the year." Now, obviously, this being a Nintendo Power magazine, it obviously wasn't talking about the Sega Genesis game that came out in '92. This was the first mention of a Superman game for the Super Nintendo, and it also wasn't referring to the death and return of Superman, as that wasn't released until 1994. Any mention of this game went silent until it was mentioned yet again by Nintendo Power on December of 1992. Near the last few pages of Nintendo Power, there was a section called Pack Watch, which would mention upcoming games. And among others mentioned, Superman gets its own highlight. It stated, "Sunsoft looks like the supreme ruler of Saturday morning software, and their lineup will get even more stupendous in 1993 with Superman for the Super Nintendo." This is accompanied with an image of the game as well. Now, after several months of silence, the game was then quickly mentioned in May of 1993's issue of Nintendo Power in the Game Boy section of the Pack Watch, where it showcased an upcoming Speedy Gonzales game. It stated, "Our sources at Sunsoft have also revealed that the long-awaited Super NES Superman game is due by the end of the year and that a big surprise is in store." Now, the only reason why it was mentioned in this Speedy Gonzales Game Boy game is because of the fact that Sunsoft was also developing that game as well. Now, this would be the last time the game would ever be mentioned by Nintendo, and it quietly faded away. Since it never got a big feature, people just forgot about it. Now, decades later, fast forward to 2019, a demo of this game finally surfaced. I guess I should also mention that this demo came in the form of a single board, no cartridge at all, just the board by itself. The demo is playable and has you controlling Superman flying through what is believed to be some sort of cave. For an early game in the NES's life, it is very decent as far as graphics are concerned, even though the flow of the demo itself seems to be a bit quick for my liking. The way Superman moves and his cape's texture seem to be very well made. Unfortunately, that's all the demo shows off, along with the title screen that simply states Superman Unfinished Version. Now, the actual physical board recovered has a white label with the numbers 5/25 written on it. Many have speculated that this could stand for May 25th. This would coincide with the 1992 Summer CES convention held between the dates of May 28th through the 31st, which was when Nintendo Power made a quick mention of the game as previously mentioned. So perhaps this demo was the board used to demonstrate the game to spectators during CES. Now, as mentioned earlier, there was a Sunsoft Superman game released in 1992, but it was for the Sega Genesis. Now, it is said that this game was the port of the Super Nintendo game that was supposed to be released, but that was just a rumor and it went unconfirmed. Another aspect that led people to believe this game is unrelated is the fact that the demo uncovered showed scenery and gameplay not in the released Sega Genesis game. Superman's sprite is also a bit different. Now, it could be a beta version of the game, but once again, there have been no confirmations at all. Now, I did a bit more research in order to make sure that this game was in a different development cycle, and I found more mention of this Untitled Superman game in issue number 7 of the Super Nintendo's Buyer's Guide. The game is yet again mentioned with not only some non-before-seen screenshots, but also a release date on the article. The article even has a description of gameplay stating, Superman must go through level upon level of danger, fight endless thugs and powerful supervillains. It's enough to make even Superman sweat. The Son of Krypton has a variety of special powers to help him take on crime and pestilence. He has awesome strength, the power to shoot heat ray from his eyes, and the ability to fly above Metropolis. This further confirms many speculations that the game was in fact going to be a beat 'em up, as well as a quick hint at some of the abilities he may have had. The images shown also show promising graphics for the time, including a shot of Superman flying. Now, this screenshot of Superman flying is also the exact same gameplay shown in the demo recovered back in 2019. Now, there were scans from another magazine found by Twitter account user Sunsoft History, which also states Superman's powers in the Untitled game. However, the two separate magazine scans have different backgrounds to the plot of the game. While one states that Superman must fight Brainiac and save the Earth within 24 hours, the other states that Lois has been kidnapped by Lex Luthor and apparently there are kryptonite missiles being fired. And this scan has the same image previously shown in the buyer's guide as well as a never before seen title screen of the game. Now, this title screen looks very similar but not identical to the title screen in the prototype demo recovered, utilizing the same chrome and pink color scheme. Now, during my research, I also read that the Sega Game Gear game Superman the Man of Steel used remnants of this unreleased game, but once again, that was also rumored and went unconfirmed. And honestly, I really don't think it's very likely. Then it brings us to the Death and Return of Superman, which was released for the Super Nintendo in 1994 by Sunsoft. Now, some believe that the unreleased Superman became this video game as ideas began to change as to what the game would actually be. Others believe that the two games were separate games and that they just combined them into one, mixing concepts and ideas. And a popular belief is that the unreleased Superman game was cancelled because the Death and Return of Superman's release date was just too close to that of the Untitled Superman game. Now, as of the discovery of the demo, no one has come forward to clarify any information regarding the Untitled Superman game. As much as enthusiasts try to dig up, nothing came of the search for answers. It is believed that the YouTube user by the name of Morehouse760, who goes by Nostalgia Alley on Instagram, is currently in possession of the Superman board, as he posted a video of the board running on a version 2 Super Nintendo to YouTube back in January of 2019. Now in his YouTube, he stated that he got it from a friend of his and he's unsure where his friend got it. Now while all of these are very cool and interesting to speculate, there is only so much we as gamers can go by. All we can do is try and shed as much light as possible in the hopes that someone involved may see it and speak up. But unfortunately, that is what we know of the Untitled Superman game for the SNES. Thank you guys for watching. Check out some of our other videos if you'd like. And don't forget to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, check out our Patreon, and give us any ideas for any future videos. And I'll catch you all next time.